Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridharadhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridharadhari. Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridharadhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Yasodananda Brajajana Ranjana. Yasodananda Brajajana Ranjana. Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Kira Vanachari. Yamuna Kira Vanachari. Yamuna Kira Vanachari. Yamuna Kira Vanachari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. 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 Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridharadhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridharadhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridharadhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridharadhari. Yasodananda Brajajana Ranjana. Yasodananda Brajajana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jai Radha Madhava Bihari ki, Mantra Shima Bhagavatam ki, Go Premanandi. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskritya
Narayanam Namaskritya.
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam.
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Devim Saraswati Vyasam.
Tato Jayamudirayat
Tato Jayamudiyayat.
Nasta Prayeshu Abhadresu
Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu.
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Bhagavata Sevaya.
Bhagavati Uttama Sloke
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke.
Bhaktir Bhaivati Naistiki
Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki.
Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 3, The Lord's Pastimes out of Vrindavan, text number 24. Please repeat.
I completed this verse yesterday.
Oh, they didn't know if anybody gave class or not. You know, I couldn't find out, and I couldn't make a extensive inquiry. So I can do text 25 and 26.
But my 14 come?
No, Mayapur wasn't here yesterday. He was sick. And since this will maybe be a little bit of reading, y'all can pass around the Maha sweets. I kind of threw the fennel seed in there with them so that some fennel seed stuck to them, so it won't be so shocking that there's fennel seed on this, Maha fennel seed on this Maha. Okay. Okay, so it's not on the board. I'm just going to read text 25 and 26, beginning, of course, with 25. Tatta kati prayarama shera Vrishni bojan takarayaha yayu prabhasham samrishta ratte eva bimohita.
Excuse me. Oh. Puryam kadachit kritatpir.
No, it's the wrong one on the book.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but we can do the word for word. Please repeat. Tataha,
Tataha,
thereafter.
thereafter.
Katipayai,
Katipayai,
a few.
a few.
Mashai,
Nashai,
months passing.
months passing.
Vrishni,
Vrishni,
the descendants of Vrishni.
Descendants of Vrishni.
Boja,
Boja.
descendants of Boja.
Descendants of Boja.
Anaka,
Anaka.
Adaya,
Adayaha.
and others like the sons of Andaka.
Others like the sons of Andaka.
Ayu
Ayur.
went.
Then.
Prabhasam,
Prabhasham.
the place of pilgrimage named Prabhasa.
Place of pilgrimage named Prabhasam.
Samrishtaha,
Samrishtaha.
with great pleasure.
with great pleasure.
Ratahi,
Atahi,
on their chariot.
on the chariot.
Deva,
Deva,
by Krishna.
by Krishna.
Bimohita,
Mohita,
bewildered.
bewildered.
Translation, please repeat. A few months passed,
A few months passed,
and then,
and then
bewildered by Krishna,
Bewildered by Krishna.
all the descendants of Vrishni,
All the descendants of Vrishni.
Boja,
Boja.
and Andaka,
And Andaka.
who were incarnations of demigod,
Who were the incarnations of demigods.
went to Prabhasa,
Went to Prabhasa.
while those who were eternal devotees of the Lord
And those who were eternal devotees of the Lord
did not leave,
did
do
not
not
leave.
leave.
but remained in Dwarka.
So remain in Dwarka.
Okay, there's no purport. I'll move on to text 26. I have a new BTG Y'all can look at it and stay awake, but I can't give it because it's Christmas time and I got to have as many as possible to
I have one.
send out.
I've ordered my wife made her own order.
Put in a subscription, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, text 26. Tetrastan tva pitrem devan rishim chaiva tat ambasa tot
Some guests, some good
totpadjitvata viprevyo gavo bahu gunad datuhu. Trastantva pitrem devan rishim chaiva tarambasa torpayivata viprevyo gavo bahu gunad daduhu. Okay, I guess we can do the word for word here. Tatra,
Tatra,
there.
there.
Stantva,
Tantra,
by taking bath.
by taking baths.
Pitren,
Pitrin,
forefathers.
forefathers.
Devan,
Devan,
demigod.
demigods.
Rishin,
Rishin,
great sages.
great sages.
Cha,
Cha,
also.
also.
Eva,
Eva,
certainly.
certainly.
Tat,
Tat,
of that.
of that.
Ambasa,
Ambasa,
by the water.
by the water.
Torpitwa,
Tva,
by pleasing.
by pleasing.
Ata,
Ata,
thereupon.
thereupon.
Viprevyaha,
Vipredaha,
unto the Brahmanes.
Brahmanas.
Gava,
Kaha,
cows.
cows.
Bahugunaha,
Bahugana,
greatly useful.
greatly useful.
Daduhu,
Daru,
gave in charity.
gave in charity.
Translation, please repeat. After arriving there,
After arriving there,
all of them took bath,
all of them took bath
and with the water of this place of pilgrimage,
with the water of this place of pilgrimage,
they offered their respects
offered their respects
to the forefathers,
to the forefathers,
demigods,
demigods,
and great sages,
and great sages,
and thus satisfied them.
and thus satisfied them.
They gave cows to the Brahmanes in royal charity. In royal charity.
What number is that then?
This is 26, so tomorrow will be 27. Okay, Srila Prabhupada's Divine Purport. Amongst the devotees of the Lord, there are several divisions, namely Nitya Siddhas, Sadhana and Sadhana Siddhas. The Nitya Siddha devotees never fall down to the region of the material atmosphere, even though they sometimes come onto the material plane to execute the mission of the Lord. The Sadhana Siddha devotees are chosen from the conditioned souls. Out of the sadhana devotees, there are mixed and pure devotees. The mixed devotees are sometimes enthusiastic about fruitive activities and are habituated to philosophical speculation. The pure devotees are free from these mixtures and are completely absorbed in the service of the Lord, regardless of how and where they are situated. Pure devotees of the Lord are not enthusiastic to put aside their service to the Lord in order to go to holy places of pilgrimage. A great devotee of the Lord in modern times, Sri Narottam Das Thakur, has sung like this: to visit holy places of pilgrimage is a never bewilderment of the mind, because devotional service to the Lord at any place is the last word in spiritual perfection. Unquote. For pure devotees of the Lord who are completely satisfied with the transcendental loving service of the Lord, there's hardly any necessity to visit the various places of pilgrimage. But those who are not so advanced have the prescribed duties of visiting pilgrimage sites and regularly performing rituals. The part of the princely order of the Yadu dynasty who went to Prabhasa performed all duties to be done in a place of pilgrimage and offered their pious actions to their forefathers and others. As a rule, every human being is indebted to God, the demigods, great sages, ever-living entities, people in general, forefathers, etc., for various contributions received from them. Thus, everyone is obliged to repay the debt of gratitude. The Yadus who went to the Prabhasha pilgrimage site performed their duties by distributing land, gold, and well-nourished cows in royal charity. It is described in the following verse. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport to the 26th verse, 3rd chapter, 3rd canto, Srimad Bhagavatam, the Lord's pastimes out of Vrindavan. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Agnati Mirandasya Dhananjana Shilakaya Kachun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yukta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagar Jatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Sa Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sadvadutam Virijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Visakams Vitams Cha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabando Jagapate Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Brishabhanustutu Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpya Tulubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhye Vacha Patitam Nam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Giradhar Shiva Sari Gaura Bhakti Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Srimad Bhagavatam Ki. So I had kind of prepared a little bit for the other verse, and this one came up. There's some interesting points. The Nitya Siddhas, those eternal devotees who have never mixed with the modes of material nature, they never come to this realm. It's not a tasteful or exciting place. It's a place they have no ambition to visit, but sometimes they come for the work of the Lord, the mission of the Lord, to help Him carry out His mission, delivering the fallen conditioned souls. But there are other devotees who have become perfect in this world. They are the sadhana bhaktas, and they are pure devotees. But there are other bhaktas who are practicing sadhana, who have not yet become completely pure devotees, and they're still mixed. They have some attachment still for fruitive activity and philosophical speculation. So those devotees, they're much more obliged to carry out the various purificatory processes prescribed for the Vedas and the different followers of Vedanta culture as well as the Vaishnavas and the Vaishnav culture. The neophyte devotee, they generally have to visit places of pilgrimage. Srila Prabhupada asks his disciples to visit Mayapur Dham and Vrindavan Dham once a year just for purification. So for purification, the devotees, to this day, they go to the places of pilgrimage and see the deities and hear the holy men, and in this way become purified, performing the various rituals also. That's one thing. There's so many other things, all these samskaras and for the householders, and just visiting the temple, even things that the pure devotees quite regularly do, like worshipping Tulsi Devi, worshipping the deity. All these things are meant for our purification, eating the prasadam of the Lord. And we have to do these things to stay pure if we're not a pure devotee. And if one's a pure devotee, then naturally these are the things that they're attracted to. They're not going to be attracted to eating bhoga, but they're going to be attracted to eating prasadam. They're not going to be attracted to listening to mundane music, but they're going to be attracted to hearing the bhajan of the Lord. So all these Vaishnava cultural activities, they are spontaneously performed by the pure devotee. But the neophyte, he has to regularly carry out these things simply for the purpose of purification, simply for becoming free from his inclination, his attachment for philosophical speculations and fruited work. Srila Prabhupada makes the point how out of the Yadu dynasty, the Nityasiddha devotees, they didn't bother to go to Prabhash. They stayed back. But the Eva devotees, the Devas who had appeared within the dynasty, they all went to Prabhash and they perfectly performed the rituals. They did everything expected of them. And they offered their pious actions to their forefathers and Evas. So the final point Srila Prabhupada made in the last paragraph of the last paragraph of this purport is that we are all indebted not only to God, but God's devotees, such as the demigods, the great sages, so many other living entities, and people in general, forefathers, etc. Because they have made some contributions for our life. We wouldn't have any existence without them. If it wasn't for the sun god, how could we exist? If it wasn't for Indra bringing rains, how could we exist? If it wasn't just for the father and the mother who gave us birth, how could we exist? What about the rest of the society that provided a society to live within, so that we wouldn't be struggling just to live a few years? So many living entities, what to speak of the creatures and species that we survive on, or that help us in our everyday lives. Even nowadays, where it's a world, an iron age, a world of machines, where the poor animal has become replaced by mechanical means, and thus is stripped of his dharma, practically speaking, or they've been turned into just like the horse, for example, they've been turned into just race horses rather than a means of transportation and a means of performing work for human beings. Now they're simply used for gambling purposes. Still, we see that human beings in a sophisticated country like America, where people have developed so much mental illness for whatever reasons, won't go into that, but we see that many animals now have become a source of unconventional love to them. They actually are considered service animals, just like a blind person may have a service dog that helps them to get around. So similarly, people that have different types of mental illness, they may have a service animal that actually brings them comfort and friendship and practically unalloyed love. And this helps them to remain free from depression and anxiety, just having their service creature, whether it be a dog or a cat, or sometimes people even have other types of animals. So we see that they're still involved in the service of human society in a way that previously wasn't there as much as in the ordinary work field. So we human beings were certainly obliged to many other creatures, and thus when people in general and devotees visit the places of pilgrimage, we perform duties like distributing charity and various other rituals in order to purify ourselves and to repay our debt that we owe. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Any comment or question?
What was the verse again?
There were two of them. Yesterday's verse, it begun the story. I'll read that one too. Text 24, 25, and 26. Once upon a time, great sages were made angry by the sporting activities of the princely descendants of Yadu and Bhoja dynasties. And thus, as desired by the Lord, the sages cursed them. A few months passed, and then, bewildered by Krishna, all the descendants of Vrishni, Bhoga, and Andaka, who were incarnations of demigods, went to Prabhasha, while those who were eternal devotees of the Lord did not leave, but remained in Dwarka. After arriving there, all of them took bath, and with the water of this place of pilgrimage, they offered their respects to the forefathers, demigods, and great sages, and thus satisfied them. They gave cows to the brahmanas and royal charity.
Yeah, I was thinking, you said there's the niche siddhas, and then there's the conditioned souls who become sadhana siddhas, and then mixed by. But there's also guru kripas.
Yeah, it never formed one.
You know, if you do some outstanding service, you may have some little problem, you get the special mercy of the guru. You can't count on that though.
Yes, somehow or other they got some special mercy. Usually when that happens, it becomes obvious that the person has some devotion for Guru and Krishna. They're just lucky. They may not have been a real strict devotee, but by the pure devotee's blessings, they attain perfection in devotional service. So very lucky. Others, they work hard at the science of devotion, to science of transcendence that enables the conditioned soul through the practices of bhakti yoga to transcend the modes of material nature and reestablish their eternal constitutional position in relationship with the Supreme Lord. So they're lucky also, but they've sort of earned their luck by such austerity and sincere and humble practice. They also get the mercy of Guru and Krishna, pure devotee of the Lord and the Supreme Lord Himself. It's our philosophy that by pleasing the pure devotee, Krishna is pleased. And if we somehow ever do not please the pure devotee, we do just the opposite, then Krishna is displeased. So we can't please Krishna without pleasing his devotees. Yesterday's verse made the point that we shouldn't offend the devotees. So one may not please the devotee, but may not be an offender. Still, we can understand the importance of pleasing devotees rather than displeasing or even to an unfortunate extent offending them. We want to avoid that at all costs. Lord Chaitanya does not award love of God to anyone who offends the devotees, despite how great they may be. For example, his own mother, he would not award love of God to. He was giving love for Krishna to everyone. But devotees asked him, please, now you give to Sachimata. And he said, oh, I can't do that. She has offended a Vaishnava. I will not give love of God to anyone who has offended a Vaishnava. And devotees couldn't understand that. Sachimata is the Lord's mother. She's the perfect devotee, practically speaking. So it came out that she had become offensive to Advaita Acharya because she felt by the Acharya's great devotion, her first son, Vishwarup, had taken sannyas, and now she felt he was doing the same to Mahaprabhu. So for him, Advaita had become Dvaita. It had simply become a duality of discontent or deceitfulness that was driving her son away from home. And so that was an offense to make such an accusation against the Acharya, the great Acharya Advaita. So when Advaita Acharya heard all this, he could not accept it. And he began to glorify Mother Sachi, saying, how is this possible? She's none different from Devaki, Yasoda, so many other forms that have been the mother of the Lord in his various incarnations. And she's the mother of the universe. You have Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has appeared within her womb. She's impossible. He refused to accept it, and while glorifying Mother Sachi, he fell into trance and fainted onto the ground. And at that time, Mother Sachi took the dust from his feet and became free from all offenses. And Lord Chaitanya awarded her love of God then. And she also fell into trance and began rolling on the ground and just crying in ecstasy. And all the devotees were so happy that both Advaita Acharya and Mother Sachi were exhibiting such great symptoms of love for Krishna. So that's, the importance of, we have to please the devotees, not offend them, and, that should be our, we should keep that in the front of our mind, because especially in this Kali Yuga, the tendency is just the opposite. We generally we generally feel an offense from others, and then we retaliate in some sort of way. And so in this way, you have a world of quarrel and constant agitation and fighting amongst people. So how to alleviate this is by spreading love for Krishna, teaching this wonderful science where everybody can become gentle and hot and think of ourselves in a very humble way, and and learn to be very tolerant. And it becomes minor offenses created by others don't become a disturbance, and we don't think in terms of retaliating. So in that way, there's less likelihood of any sort of offense being created, and especially if you throw in Lord Chaitanya's ever two characteristics that he would like the devotees to follow, such as always being respectful to others, and not really expecting so much the respect of others. So it's past 10 after 8. Anything else before we close down for today?
Yeah. So Guru Kripa generally puts the devotee on a higher pedestal, but he has to still make a voluntary choice to make progress
Mm-hmm.
and not make offenses.
Yeah, that may be there also, depending on the Lord's mercy. We can't always understand it. I mean, even Nityasiddhas can't become the opposite of what they are. They're Nityasiddhas because they've never fallen down. So they may be in this world, they can't fall down. And because they're under the protection of the Lord, they won't fall down. But falling down can be is a dangerous thing for anyone. I can't think of an example of a Nityasiddha that fell down. There doesn't seem to be a possibility of that. We have Ajamil, but he wasn't exactly a Nityasiddha. He was a Brahmana, a trained Brahmana, and he fell down. Someone that's gotten Guru Kripa, they possibly could return to their old ways, but on the other hand, depending on the mercy of the pure devotee, then they may also come completely under the Lord's protection and be able to remain free from what we would determine to be a fall down. Lord Chaitanya, he told Srivas Thakur, I think he told Srivas Thakur, or maybe Srivas Thakur told Lord Chaitanya, that even if I see Yogindra Prabhu going to a place where people are drinking, I won't think ill of him. Even if he marries a Muslim girl, I wouldn't think ill of him. Now this is Lord Nityananda, he's Vishnu Tattva, but because they're speaking like that, then we might understand that a pure devotee may do something that may seem wrong to someone else, but really there was nothing wrong with it. Like example would be Dr. Lakshmi recently told me that she went and distributed some books in a bar by her house. And she said she had never been in a place like that, and she would never have went, but somehow ever Krishna urged her to go, and she went in, and she made friends. She knew the owner before. The owner was a lady. Somehow ever she had met the owner, and so she asked if she could come in and distribute some books, and she allowed her. So somebody may see just externally, oh, look, she's saying she's such and such devotee. Some devotees from around the temple may see her going to this bar. and come out. And they may make some story up. Well, I saw her go into a bar. Why do people go into a bar? But, you know, she went in there distributing books, so
Malachi,
anyhow,
Malachi tells a story how her and another Malachi used to do the taverns in England. And then the Lord would lock them out. You have to break in at night. But they were supporting all the money for the movie worship.
wow.